Well, I think since COVID-19 started, Shanghai's been a bit different. To me, it seems like the sentiment towards foreigners, especially black foreigners like myself, there's been a bit of animosity, more people kind of running away, covering up their faces with masks when they see me. Lots of questions about where I've been during the past couple of years, a lot more so than it used to be. Also, I think the landscape of the city has changed a bit as far as things to do. It seems like there's less foreigner-friendly activities or outings, and it just seems like we're a little bit more under watch. You can kind of feel that grip of the control by the government. Do I feel safe as a black expat? That's a very good question. Not as much as I used to. I think one of the greatest things about China when I first arrived here was that I really did feel safe. Meaning that it was the first place that I had been where I wasn't followed by police constantly. You could walk right by police and they weren't actively looking for you. They weren't actively trying to take you to jail. Don't get me wrong, if you did something that was breaking their laws, they will come get you. But they're not just looking to lock you up over the smallest thing, which is very different than my home country. I think since this latest lockdown, no, I don't feel safe, especially when considering how they were willing to separate parents from their children. I think that there was a lack of care, a lack of understanding from a lot of the workers and volunteers, very robotic. And what I mean by that is that there was no humanity in it. Like, for instance, if I could go to a store and my code wasn't changing, but you could clearly see that I had taken a test and the test was negative for COVID, you can see that. But because they had to see the code, they had to see that green code, they wouldn't let you in the store. So the lack of humanity and the tight grip, the willingness to separate families, that made me not feel safe at all, because it could happen again at any time. And I think that the best thing is to be as prepared as possible for as long as we're here. I think Shanghai could do a few things to make expats feel more comfortable. The real question is, do they want to? And I don't believe that they do. I think that there's been a sentiment of really trying to push foreigners out. I think that we've kind of served our time here and they've gotten as much use out of us as they can use. And now I think it seems like it's time for us to go. I think if they wanted to, they could make things a little more user-friendly when they first roll them out, instead of making changes after complaints have been made and they realize that this doesn't work and that doesn't work. But I think foreigners would feel a little more comfortable if things weren't done at the last minute. And what I mean by that are, like, especially during COVID testing times and whatnot, maybe if they gave us a little more notice, I think that would make foreigners feel a little more comfortable, because it is scary being in a foreign country, not knowing how local people and governments are going to respond to these situations. And if they wanted to, I think that they could.